Hey everyone, Shabby Gaming here, and welcome to night number 4 of the SWE Evolution pay-per-view. We got another three big championship matches here for you this evening. It's going to be good, this one, and two cracking other matches as well. And here we go, here's our next match of the evening, and it is going to be for the Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships as the Dynasty, Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee, take on Time Splitters Alex Shelley and Kushida. And here we go. That's a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. So I just I've got the Man United game in the background while I'm recording, and it's just I can't understand it. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted by that. So there's like 2 minutes left, and two players have been sent off, and everyone's going absolutely crazy. I can't understand why. But there we go. Here we are. More important things are at foot at the moment. Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee been on a great reign of form of recent, actually. Some big victories over DIY, some good singles victories for the pair of them as well. So, yeah, they've been in fantastic form. And it'll be interesting to see if they can be the ones to take the belts away from Time Splitters. I'm pretty sure Time Splitters have had these belts now since, I want to say SWE beginnings. I think did they beat the Bucks for them? I think so. I'm pretty sure they beat the Bucks from them. They successfully defended them at Shabby Mania for the new against Roppongi Vice. That's what I'm trying to say. Words don't come easy to me. I'm really struggling tonight, I really am. So it'll be interesting to see, yeah, if Time Splitters can continue on doing what they're doing as well. The World Glitch Championships for clipping. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. What I'm going to do after this pay-per-view, and I'll release a video once it's all done and that sort of stuff, but what I'll do is I'm going to adapt the blogger page. I'm going to change it a bit and make it a bit more useful for us, and on there is going to be a championship history for the brands as well, so that'll be an easier way for us to keep track of who the former champions were and all that sort of stuff and how long they've had the belts. But yeah, like I said, that's not in place at the moment, but after the finish of this pay-per-view, I'll let you know as soon as it's done, and obviously I'll start putting links and descriptions to all those pages as well, because it's going to be much easier for us to keep track of what the hell's going on then, isn't it? So here we go then. Dynasty, Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett. Trevor Lee's face seems to have got a bit funny. I'm pretty sure he wasn't that generic before. Taking on the team of... It's taking a long time to get through this bit, isn't it? There we go. Taking on the team of the Time Splitters, of course, the current Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they beat the Bucks at SWE beginnings, and then successfully retained the belts against Time Splitters. Nope, they are Time Splitters. Against Roppongi Vice at Shabby Mania. Alex Shelley looks really good, doesn't he, actually? Shelley looks very good. It's just and Kushida looks pretty good as well, actually. Not perfect, but he does look pretty good. And that's what it's for, of course, the Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions. And again, like I've mentioned a few times over this week, there is a big evolution coming in SWE, hence the pay-per-view name. However, that evolution won't affect the champions as much as it affects everybody else. So winning the belt can give you a little bit of safe knowledge, knowing that things aren't going to change too much for you moving forward. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Obviously, I'm going to say I know what's going to happen. However, I'm not 100% sure because I'm still waiting on confirmation elsewhere. But as soon as I get that confirmation, then we were looking pretty good as soon as we do. Great tornado heads his takedown there by Andrew Everett. Jawbreaker now by Alex Shelley, turning things around. Shelley comes across and brings in his partner Kushida. Arguably one of the best high flyers in the world, Kushida. Former, obviously, New Japan Junior Heavyweight Champion several times, I think, as well. Oh, great flipping kick. What a flipping kick that was. Into a Quesadora as well. And Kushida now taking control of this match. So it was Trevor Lee who's been having the best of form recently, hasn't he? He had a couple of good appearances against Tommaso Ciampa, including a victory over Tommaso Ciampa as well. And on paper, you would have put that down to Ciampa getting the victory. Of course, Ciampa did get a bit of retribution at Shabby Mania when he faced off against Trevor Lee one-on-one. And then Andre Everett and Trevor Lee did defeat DIY in a tag team match as well on Octane, I believe it was. So you were seeing a lot of good stuff from these two teams. Trevor Lee now just stamping on the chest. Stamping on the chest of Kushida. Now Lee up on the top rope, senton bomb by Trevor Lee. But sure he got that bad boy from. Not the sort of manoeuvre where you expect that to come from him, really, is it? Pin there by Trevor Lee. 1, 2. Only a 2. Trevor Lee wanted the 3. Rhymed. Lee now bringing Kushida back up to a kneeling base, and knee right to the temple of Kushida. That's enough to knock you clean out. But evidently, it's not enough to knock out Kushida, who's back in control of the arm drag, now taking Trevor Lee up into the suplex. And in comes Alex Shelley once again. I miss the Motor City Machine Guns. I really... They quickly became my favourite tag team when I started watching TNA a lot. And then unfortunately, of course, I think... Was it Alex Shelley left the company, or... I know Sabre got injured, didn't he? Right, obviously Sabre got injured, but that was after the two had split, wasn't it? Because Sabre got a championship run, didn't he? Did he actually win the belt? I think he won the belt in the end at TNA. I remember it was devastating for him though, because he tore his ACL, and then he came back in his first match back. I think they put him in an Ultimate X match, and he ended up tearing the other ACL and the other knee. And yeah, it was a bit gutting really. And then he was out for another near on a year before they came back, and I'm pretty sure they didn't give him a championship run. I think he won the belt. I'm pretty sure he went in as a face, won the belt, and then let the whole thing get to his head, and then became a heel, I think. It's pretty nice. I like it because there are some people that deserve to get these championship runs. Look at Cesaro. He's sort of overlooked all the time, but the fans would love Cesaro to get a championship. They really would. I would love Cesaro to get the championship. Thing is, Cesaro has not had a singles championship in my mind since he had the United States Championship in his first run with Oksana. So it's a little bit of a, yeah, double foot stomp there by Alex Shelley, harnessing the spirit of low key there. Shelley now sending Trevor Lee back into the corner. And looking for that sliced bread, and he hits it. There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count. Everett was able to come in and break it up. Trevor Lee with the uppercut on Alex Shelley, who catches him once again though, looking for that neck breaker, but Trevor Lee breaks free. Boot into the gut, now taking him up. There it is. The suplex into the powerbomb. There's the pin by Trevor Lee. 1, 2. Kushida was there though, right on top of that one. Trevor Lee was not in the best position to go for that pin. Trevor Lee now continuing on with his offense with a couple of big forearms into a sling blade as well. Trevor Lee with a big right hand now taking Alex Shelley up into a knee breaker. Or a shin breaker, whichever way you want to call it. Lee continuing. Lee's doing really well here. German suplex on Alex Shelley. Like I said, Trevor Lee was really on a top vein of form of recent. And he's showing that here by taking control of the match. Double foot stomp by Lee. Now Lee is glitching out a little bit. There we go. He's decided how to do this now. Clubbing blow to the back by Trevor Lee. Taking Shelley up. Fisherman's Buster. What a move that was as well. Into the pin goes Trevor Lee. Everett needs to pay attention here. Oh, I think Shelley kicked out on his own accord there, as I think Everett just caught Kushida in time. Big boot to the back there by Alex Shelley on Trevor Lee, but Lee fighting back with that right hand now into a... Looking for a German, but Alex Shelley manages to fight his way free. Shelley with a knee, and then a standing sliced bread. There's the pin. 1, 2... And that's it. Time Splitters do keep their championships as Alex Shelley gets the pin over Trevor Lee with that standing sliced bread. The second sliced bread of the match. That was a really good match, actually. It was quite a short match, in fairness, but it was actually a really good one. And Dynasty did do a really good account of themselves, to be honest, but it is Time Splitters who remain the Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions. Or the Octane Tag Team Champions. And that's not all we've got for you tonight, have we? We've still got more stuff to come. It's only the first match of the evening. We've still got another 2 championship matches for you this evening. It's going to be a pretty good one, this, isn't it? This is going to be a big, big night. Already 1 championship retained. And we've got the first major championship this evening as well, as Zack Sabre Jr. defends the Throwdown belt against Kazuchika Okada in the main event. But next, of course, it's straight to the Mayhem Women's Championship. And here we go. Here's our second match of the evening and our second championship match of the evening. It's going to be Asuka defending her Mayhem Women's Championship against Alundra Blayze. And you'll never guess what I've done. I've been such a tit tonight, I tell you. I've been going... See, I've got a company car. My company car has Bluetooth. So what I normally do is I get in my car to drive home in the evening, and then I call my parents when I'm driving home. To have a chat with them while I'm driving home, so it's a bit easier for me. What I've then done is I've got home, I've sat down, I've gone, I've not got my phone with me, I've left my bloody phone at work. And then it's hit me, I can't have left my phone at work because I spoke on my car phone with it, so I couldn't understand where it was. So I've literally turned my entire flat upside down, I've turned the entire car upside down, could not find it anywhere, and I'm sat here thinking, where the bloody hell is that phone? It must be somewhere, because I had it on the way home from work. And then it hit me. When I left my car and walked back to my flat, I put a few things in the bin outdoors, and I've literally just gone over there. After 2 hours of looking for my phone, I've opened the bin lid to see my phone in the middle of the bloody wheelie bin. Luckily, it all still works. It's all still fine. It just whiffs a little bit, but whoa, Alundra Blayze just fronting the life out of me. But yeah, we're okay. We are okay. I've got 6 missed calls, all of which are me. Okay. Using my work phone to try and find my personal phone. There you go. It's all good. All's well that ends well. There we go. And here we go. This is going to be a tricky one for Asuka, you know. She has been the champion for quite some time. I think she won the belt when she defeated Blayze at our first pay-per-view. She defended it successfully in a triple threat match at Shabby Mania against Blayze and Natalya. And now here she is against Alundra Blayze. Now I think this could be the most difficult task for her. I think Alundra Blayze is actually 87 rated, so I think base game stats, she's actually rated higher than Asuka. But as we know from history, that doesn't necessarily mean a lot. Yeah, it's a bit crazy, isn't it, how things work? But this is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's Asuka's biggest test, and I still believe. But the thing is, I believe this for a few times now. I believe that Asuka will drop that NXT Women's Championship at the next pay-per-view, which can't be too far away actually in the next NXT Takeover. When is it? When is NXT Takeover? Is it Chicago? Let's just hit Wikipedia at that one. I could use the old OK Google. I'm not very good at it. It is Chicago. It takes place on the 20th of May. Okay. So NXT TakeOver would have already happened for you guys, but obviously I'm recording this so far in advance. I'm going to stop talking about it then because I'm going to look stupid now after asking. Wow, that's really close to now. I need to watch all of NXT since WrestleMania. I've not watched any yet. That's what I tend to do. I tend to not watch any NXT and then just blitz through it from for the week or two leading up to the takeover. So that is next weekend. Parent. I'm bloody working next weekend. That is annoying. means I can't stay up and watch it live. I love staying up and watching it live normally. May the 20th. That's just, I thought they're normally Friday nights, aren't they? It's a Saturday night, that one. I know they are normally Saturday nights, aren't they? I'm not working. Oh yeah, my parents are up that weekend. Oh no. Oh, I don't know. I might be able to then. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Ignore me. Ignore me. I'm talking about me staying up to watch an event which has already happened by the time this video gets uploaded. But it's I'm having to record quite a few little bits and bobs up front, but it's working in my mind. Schedule wise, I'm fine in my mind. I'm away for a week and a half before this video is uploaded, and then I've got a few things I want to try and do, and the things I don't want to try and do, I need to do certain things beforehand so I know how to plan it. It's all very complicated what I've done to myself here, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've sort of gone a little bit over the top, but hopefully I've got it all planned out now and everything's going to work for the best, and in a few days time the SWE Evolution can be announced to you guys. So Asuka now dragging Blayze into the middle of the ring, big boot into the back. Dragging Blayze back up to feet, but Blayze with a jawbreaker. So Alundra Blayze would be a good champion for Mayhem, wouldn't she really? Because of the flame motif, and that is sort of suits the it suits exactly what Alundra Blayze is doing, doesn't it? Really, with the actual branding of Mayhem as well. Listen, they've already got 4 more takeovers set out. They've got takeover in August 19th, which I'm assuming is going to be SummerSlam weekend. Takeover November 18th, which I'm assuming is going to be Survivor Series weekend. Takeover Philadelphia. Well, that'd be good. Takeover Philadelphia. That's the first Philadelphia show they're doing. I bet there's going to be some hardcore aspects to that one. That is going to be on January 27th, which is probably going to be... that will probably be Royal Rumble weekend then. And then Takeover 7th of April. The Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. So again, that'll be WrestleMania then. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Asuka now bringing Alundra Blayze back up to feet, but Alundra rolling Asuka through. Can't believe I found my phone in the bloody bin. What kind of retard am I? Asuka with a jawbreaker now. Ooh, big right hand by Blayze. Catching Asuka now, getting behind her into an electric chair drop. Blayze dropping a boot right into the gut of Asuka, and now a big boot into the stomach as well, and stamping on the back. Asuka fighting Blayze back though, sending Blayze face first into the mat. Quite a painful looking move there for Blayze. I hope we can hear me. I just realised I've moved the microphone quite far away from me. I think you can. Oh yeah, it's not a bad thing, is it? There's the pin by Asuka. 1. Only a 1 count. Wow. Alundra Blayze just showing here that she's nothing like what Asuka's faced before. No insults there to Eva Lise or Natalia, of course. Both fantastic women, but Blayze there with a German suplex. With the bridge. Oh my god, she nearly had it. I think she did have it, you know. I think the referee stopped counting before Asuka kicked out. Dodgy referee in there. Big knee to the face by Asuka on Alundra Blayze. Asuka brings Blayze back up to her feet. Sit out scoop slam. Asuka slamming the arm of Blayze into the mat now as well. And stamping on the gut of Alundra Blayze. And stamping on the back of the arm as well. Asuka really starting to pick apart Blayze's body. And if she can lock in that Asuka lock, which I thought she was going to go for then. She got behind her. Knees to the spine of Blayze. Well, she had her bent backwards in that quite awkward position. Asuka bringing Blayze back up to her feet, spinning heel kick to the gut, and then a running hip attack as well. Asuka straight into the pin. 1, 2. Oh, almost a 3. But Blayze just about kicking out. And with the damage that Asuka's been doing to the arms, you'd think that 1 Asuka lock could be enough to win this one. But Blayze taking Asuka down with that drop toe hold. Asuka's back up now with an arm breaker once again. Now dragging Blayze middle of the ring. Asuka looking for a Saito suplex. Bringing Blayze back up to feet, but Blayze tripping Asuka. Asuka's tripping. Asuka forcing Alundra Blayze away now. A big boot into the spine of Blayze as well. Asuka just dragging Blayze middle of the ring. Rolls her over. She's going for an ankle lock. Bit of a different submission here by Asuka, but Blayze manages to roll straight through. It was a bit of a tricky one. Ankle lock is always such a difficult one to try and get in well. I think you've got to grapevine it, haven't you, really? But if you do grapevine it, then it's an almost guaranteed win, I think. But Blayze taking Asuka up onto her shoulders, looking for an airplane spin, going retro here. And of course, Alundra Blayze did get this match by winning a 6-woman over the top rope battle royal a couple of weeks ago on Mayhem. No, on Showdown it wasn't it? It wasn't on Mayhem. And I think she eliminated 4 of the 5 other women in that match as well. So she really deserved this match. No one's taken this away from her at all, and should be hoping to become the 3rd ever Mayhem champion. Asuka now sit out scoop slam once again, grabbing the leg for the pin. 2, still only a 2 count. Yeah, I was about to mention takeover again, but I thought I could shoot it. Armbar now by Asuka. And she has done a lot of damage this arm. This is a possible win here for Asuka, if she can pull it off. Not her arm, obviously. That'd be a bit too vicious. Blayze rolling through. Oh, big right hand to the face of Asuka. Blayze with the jawbreaker. Sending Asuka face first into the corner. Asuka fighting back with the elbow. Now here she goes, locking it in. Asuka locked in by Asuka. Now this could be enough to retain her Mayhem Women's Championship. And it is. Alundra Blayze taps out and Asuka retains the championship. Wow, 2 championship matches so far, both successfully retained. It looks like that first pay-per-view might have just been a freak one then, because since then it has been a lot more even with retentions and new champions, because the first pay-per-view was just all new champions, wasn't it? But as time's gone on, we've got a little bit better. Asuka retains, and Asuka, like I've mentioned a few times, the evolution is coming, but the champions will not feel the full force of the evolution, and that means that Asuka can feel a little bit of stability now. Great women's. She's actually a really good women's champion, isn't she? That's the 2nd defense she's defeated Alundra Blayze, a really difficult female to face one-on-one, and then winning that triple threat against Ivelisse and Natalya as well. She's done incredibly well, Asuka. And after those 2 big championship matches, want to have a little bit of a special attraction match as Kevin Owens from Throwdown takes on Kurt Angle from Mayhem. And here we go. This is going to be pretty damn good. I'm looking forward to this one. Like I said, special attraction match. Both guys have had things to do. Of course, Kevin Owens was he inaugural? I can't remember now. Kevin Owens was definitely our Throwdown champion. I'm sure he was. Yeah, because he lost the belt to Kenny Omega. What am I talking about? So Kevin Owens, of course, former Throwdown champion, taking on Kurt Angle. Somebody who's not done terrifically well so far in this universe, but I'm sure somebody who, after the evolution, will get more time. That's one of the main things, the evolution, once it comes. We will be spreading our wings a little bit, and like I've said, things are going to improve, and I've got everything set out in front of me. It's all prepared and ready to go, and there shouldn't be too much gap between... well, it'll just be normal. Be absolutely normal. But there's going to be some special videos coming up explaining the evolution, how things are going to work, how things are going to change. It is going to shake the core of SWE, but I think it's going to do it for the better. Definitely do it for the better. Got some good stuff going on. I'm so excited. I really am, and I'm really enjoying these pay-per-views, but at the same time I sort of want to get the pay-per-view finished so we can bring in the new changes. And yeah, the one thing I have already announced is we are going to have a ranking system that will be over on the blogger page. I'm still currently preparing that. It's taken me a while to do, but I think I've got it exactly where I want it now. And once it is fully in use, of course, in our next episode of Mayhem, I will put links in the description and let you know that they're ready to go. And that way we can all be on top of what's going on, because that's the important thing. As out comes Kurt Angle now. Of course, part of the American Alpha stable, along with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. sort of the cool head on top of the shoulders of those two guys, helping them in the direction they want to go. And I think that's a good old shout that was, I think, by PJ Toby to put these three guys together. It made perfect sense, doesn't it, really? It really does. Oh, sorry, I'm just knocking some paperwork around by the microphone as normal. Showing my experience and my professionalism there by just ramming paperwork around by the microphone. You know the way it is. You know the way it is. I'm looking at the completely wrong thing, aren't I? Yes, I'm trying to look at something to get some detail. Oh, I can't give you that detail. But no, ignore me then. Ignore it then. Let's just ignore it. So, here we go. Kurt Angle versus Kevin Owens. We've also got one more special attraction match for you later on. That's straight after this one, actually. We're going to have a triple threat match. Ty Dillinger, Drew Galloway, and Scott Hall. I'm a bit disappointed with that Galloway's wasn't on NXT TakeOver last week. What a shame, really. Well, he was. He had a dark match. Him and Aleister Black both had individual dark matches, which were recorded for NXT the week after. So neither of them were on the card, which is a little bit annoying. But I'm not going to talk too much about NXT TakeOver, just in case someone hasn't watched it yet. I know it's perfectly doable. I've had to do it before when I've been away for a week or two and I've completely missed certain things. But I probably will have uploaded an episode of Shabby Talk by now, just discussing that whole NXT TakeOver. I think it was quite good. Just Kurt Angle now just raking the face of Kevin Owens across the mat and then dropping an elbow into the back. Angle boot into the back now of Kevin Owens, slamming the arm into the mat as well. Angle bringing Owens back up to his feet, but Owens there with the arm drag, taking Angle down. Kevin Owens is a real brutal man in the ring, you know. He really can destroy people. Owens now dropping a boot straight across the gut of Kurt Angle. And now straight to the knee as well. Overhand clubbing blow, but Angle fighting back with a right hand to the gut as well. Now, of course, if you haven't seen it, we've started to upload a few episodes of Shabby Talk with PJ Tovey. So, of course, go over and check out those. I've been down there working for a while. As I mentioned, I was pre-recording quite a lot of videos because I've been away working. And I actually happen to be working pretty close to PJ Tovey. So we got together, we had a few beers, and we recorded a few episodes of Shabby Talk. So there'll be a lot more of those coming up over the next few weeks. 1, 2... Yeah, I'm not going to upload them all at once. I'm going to sort of drip feed a few of them because... I don't know how often I'll be able to see PJ Tovey, but we're going to try and record as many episodes as we can whenever we do get together, and then that way we can continuously continue to upload videos to Shabby Talk, and I think that's going to be a good thing for us, because you guys seem to enjoy it when PJ Tovey comes around as well. There's the pin from Angle after the Angle slam, and Kevin Owens just about kicked out. There wasn't much behind that kick out, though. There was a very small amount behind that kick out. Owens now with a shoulder block, taking Angle down. And of course, don't forget this evening, our main event is going to be for the Throwdown Championship. It is going to be Kazuchika Okada versus Zack Sabre Jr. And as I've mentioned before throughout this week, the champions will be the people that are least affected by the shake-up. By the evolution that is going to be happening very, very soon. And I'm pretty sure the majority of you probably would have guessed what's going to happen by now. I've tried to be as subtle as possible, but at the same time, it's quite obvious, isn't it, that's what's going to happen. But then again, it's not completely obvious what's going to happen. There's different aspects to what is going to happen that you guys might be surprised by. I'm hoping you're going to be surprised by. I don't want you to think, oh, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. I want to give you some excitement. I'm really looking forward to it myself. Pop-up powerbomb by Kevin Owens. This will be a massive win for him. 1, 2, and a massive win for Throwdown, but Kurt Angle was able to kick out. Kevin Owens, as you can see, very, very pleased with himself now. Hands around, taunting the crowd, really, now dropping a boot right into the face of Kurt Angle. So Angle was in charge with that Angle slam, but Owens seems to have taken control with the pop-up powerbomb, but Angle now taking Owens down. I would be very, very surprised if Kurt Angle does not appear on 2K18. I'll be very surprised if he isn't the DLC you get with the game. I've got a feeling the Undertaker might be the cover star. Ooh. I wonder whether the showcase mode itself might be the Undertaker. Maybe playing through the 21-1 of the Undertaker, so everybody the Undertaker's ever faced to be on the game. Wouldn't be too bad. I don't know about that actually. No, thinking about that, because then they'd have to have CM Punk on the game, wouldn't they? I'm not sure WWE would like that. That's a good point, isn't it? I didn't think about that. I don't think. The thing is, I'm all up for them bringing showcase mode back. I never played it, to be honest with you, but I'm all for them bringing it back as long as it doesn't affect the quality of the universe mode, because I really want to see. I want to see a lot more control in the universe mode. We've got control over shows and championship matches now, which is great. But what I want is I want control over booking. I want control over cutscenes. I want it to be very similar to the old. Basically, I want it to be very similar to Extreme Warfare Revenge and Total Extreme Warfare and stuff like that, where you can say, I want this to happen after the match. I want, say for the end of this, I want Kurt Angle to attack Kevin Owens after the match with a weapon. And I can just set that. And then what I used to do on Extreme Warfare Revenge, which was good, you used to be able to set up the feuds on Extreme Warfare Revenge. If you're not sure what that is, it's a free-to-play wrestling game on the PC or laptop, or it might be Mac as well, I'm not sure. But basically what you did is you created a feud, and that feud was given a score. And every time you did anything with those two guys in the ring or backstage or anything like that, you could put it down to continue the feud, and that score would continue to rise. And basically how it worked is when you got to a pay-per-view and you finished off the match, depending on how high the score was for your feud, you got better ratings for it, which was a really good way of doing it. This is going to end up being a count out, isn't it? Oh, come on, Angle, get up. Owens, get back in the ring, get back in the ring, get back in. There we go. I was panicking then, because I've had a few of these double countouts now, because they don't seem to have the urgency to get back in the ring now. But yeah, it's really good, and I'd like to have that sort of thing in this game. Maybe have, if I can set it so after match 2 and 3, so-and-so attacks so-and-so backstage, I think that'd be fantastic, and I'd love to have that sort of control over the universe, because then we'd be able to put on much better shows as well, I think, because there's another pop-up powerbomb by Kevin Owens. There's the pin. 1, 2, and 3, and there we go. Kevin Owens picks up the victory over Kurt Angle, and of course, not only that, but Throwdown pick up the victory over Mayhem. I'm happy about that. Angle's done well here, but it just wasn't quite enough to defeat Kevin Owens. And I've asked you, what we'll do is I'll do this from after. I probably won't, because I'll probably end up recording some of that beforehand. But yeah, I've mentioned it a few times. Are you happy with the? You know what? I sort of like the replays now. We've not had the replays on for a while, but I think they're not too bad. They used to be awful on the last couple of games, but I actually quite like them now on this. And there's that pop-up powerbomb that shows the ending. Of course, we have got rope break switched off now, because I think it makes the matches smooth a little bit better. And when someone does a move and they have to pull them away from the ropes, and then it takes longer, and then you end up missing the pin. And I think I prefer this. It might take a little bit of realism away, because maybe Kurt Angle could have got a rope break there, but at the same time, I just feel like this is a better way of doing it. I really do. And that is a great win there for Kevin Owens, and that can make him pretty hot property in this upcoming evolution. And especially when the ranking systems come in, a big victory like that is really going to make a big difference. But enough of that, let's get straight into our next match. And here we go. Here is that next match. It is going to be Ty Dillinger, Drew McIntyre now, I suppose he's going to be back as, and Scott Hall in a triple threat. And it is going to be Extreme Rules, just to make things a little bit more interesting. And here we go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. No, I don't know what's happening with Dillanger, you know, because it was so over. Really, really, really over in NXT. Literally one of the most over guys I've had in quite some time. And it seems to have died off a little bit since he moved up to the main roster. And I think that's always the risk, but then again, Then again, what have they really given him? I just struggle. I'm hoping that he continues on his good vein of form, and I'm hoping that it's just a little bit. I'm hoping they're bringing him in slowly and not trying to push him too hard too early. But yeah, at the same time, I'm just a little bit worried that he's going to end up just sort of fading away like a lot of other good people have. I mean, look at American Alpha. They were mega over when they moved up to the main roster, and a year on SmackDown, they seem to have died away a little bit. And if, again with, it's tricky. Like even Tyler Breeze was over to an extent on NXT, but now he's just nothing. Then again, he's pretty over now, isn't he? Going for the tag team championships at Backlash. But yeah, it's tricky. I just want to see a little bit more from him. And like I said, I'm not sure. I don't necessarily think it's his fault. I just think that we need a little bit more of an opportunity for him, maybe. And talking of opportunities, this man has been given a great one. Return to NXT. And I'm excited to see what he can do. I must admit, I was never the biggest fan. Neither is PJ Tovey the biggest fan either, but I think he can do well for us. And we've not really used him too well in this universe mode since I brought him in. But I really want to see more from him. And I don't know where. It's good. It's good. I like it. I like it. I'm happy that McIntyre is back. And I think that NXT is a good place for him. I think, and it will give him a firm ground. It depends what Vince feels like, because Vince obviously brought him in as the chosen one. Thought he was going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. So it'd be interesting to see what sort of interest Vince has in him now. Has Vince given up on him because of what happened in the past, or is Vince still more than happy to? Is Vince still more than happy to push him into the next level? And this is a really good core, isn't it? This is a new core compared to the one we had last time. So I think this is actually a really good one. And of course, here comes Scott Hall, a man that we don't often see in singles competition in this universe mode, but I thought it's definitely worth it. He's a good man. He's a good old wrestler, his old Scott Hall. And I don't think a lot of people really appreciate how good he was when he was around. He's probably more renowned for his antics than he is for his actual in-ring ability, which is probably not the best thing. Of course, part of that first ever ladder match alongside Shawn Michaels, and wow, what a match that would be to recreate in this game. Sorry, I'm just getting myself ideas now. I'm getting myself ideas. I'm trying to think. Sorry, I've got a bit quiet now. I'm trying to think. What? Yeah, what? I'm going to have to look at this afterwards, because I've got some ideas in my head now of what I want to do. And it's just hit me now. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now, because I don't want to ruin anything. Just in case I can pull it off. So we go triple threat match. 3 quite big guys, actually. Remember, this is Extreme Rules, so weapons are allowed. And Scott Hall straight to the outside, looking for some weaponry. As Galloway with that big gutbuster, really, on Ty Dillinger. And now with the right hands. Of course, Dillinger and McIntyre never really combined. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. You might have to let me know in the comment section if I am wrong, but I'm going to assume that McIntyre didn't go for FCW originally. I might be wrong on that, but I wasn't watching at the time when McIntyre first debuted, but I'm assuming himself, and maybe shit. No, I don't think. Did Sheamus go straight through the main roster as well? But of course, Ty Dillinger left to go up to the main roster as Galloway made his return. So it's a good one. I think it's an interesting combination of guys, and it's quite a big triple threat. This one, like I said, quite a lot of big guys. I don't think anyone's really going to necessarily have a strength advantage or a speed advantage. I think all 3 guys are quite well sort of balanced. But I think probably, I don't know, I was going to say that Hall might have the experience over these two guys, but Galloway's definitely got the experience of wrestling all over the world for different companies. And Ty Dillinger's got the experience of 10 years of solid training down in the developmental. So if there's anyone who should be at a very good level, it should be Ty Dillinger, I suppose. 10 years of complete training, day after day after day in NXT and FCW and so forth. Galloway involved in the clothesline of Scott Hall, who now... Oh, wow. That was dangerous, that was. Scott Hall looking for what looked like to be a scoop slam on Ty Dillinger. Then Galloway came in, caught Scott Hall, who then dropped Dillinger almost head first on the ground. That could have been very, very dangerous. Scott Hall now Russian leg sweep onto the sledgehammer as well. And Galloway trying to take advantage of Hall, but Hall catching Galloway with the elbow now straight into a choke slam as well. Scott Hall could have this here quite early on. Scott Hall showing his dominant nature in this match. Hall now stalking McIntyre. I'm gonna have to go back to McIntyre now. That's what he's called in real life, isn't it? Drew McIntyre. Hall now takes him up into the razor's edge. But Ty Dillinger's back up on his feet and Scott Hall can't take advantage. But Ty Dillinger now with a neck breaker. I'll tell you what, Ty, if you can get this pin over Drew McIntyre, you could win this. I don't think Dillinger's really... No, I don't think he's noticed. He's continuing the assault on Scott Hall. I think he might have missed the fact that McIntyre has just been chokeslammed and razor's edge. Now McIntyre backs away for the corner and allowing Dillinger to continue his assault so McIntyre can get his breath back after those pretty big hits. Hall slides out the ring. McIntyre now bringing Dillinger into the middle of the ring. Snap suplex again. I think he just missed the sledgehammer, but it's pretty close to the head. And now McIntyre trying to G himself up. It looks of it. Into that neck breaker. McIntyre now bringing Dillinger back up to his feet. Running dropkick. Dillinger managed to just step around the way. Now dropping McIntyre into an atomic drop. Scott Hall now looking for that DDT middle of the ring on Dillinger, but Dillinger fighting back with those right hands in the guts. Hall sends Dillinger into the corner. What has Scott Hall got planned here? Oh my god. Got him up. Super fall-away slam. My god. Look how far Dillinger went across the ring. Almost into the far turnbuckle. But Galloway's back in. Galloway running across. Fez press on Scott Hall and almost caught... I think he caught the referee on the way. Referee is down, but slowly stirring, looking to get back up to his feet. But now he's going to get caught with that. No, he didn't. I think he just managed to avoid that vertical suplex. Dillinger now with a neck breaker on McIntyre. Now into the pin. 1, 2. Scott Hall stirring, but I don't think he was going to get there in time. But luckily for him, Drew McIntyre was able to kick out after 2. Ty maybe lining up Drew Galloway here, but Scott Hall just steps straight in front. No, Scott Hall allowing Ty to go for the tiebreaker. Now Scott Hall taking Dillinger up on his shoulders into an electric chair. If Scott Hall can get the pin here, and McIntyre does go for the pin, this could be enough. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count. That would have been a great finish. That Scott Hall just stealing the victory from Ty Dillinger. Hall now sending McIntyre over the ropes, but is going to bring him back in the hard way with the suplex. Scott Hall now bringing McIntyre back up, and McIntyre fighting back, sending Hall over his shoulders, landing hard on the ground. McIntyre up onto the middle rope, dropping the elbows. Ty with a running neck breaker now on Scott Hall. And all the way across and clotheslines McIntyre into the corner. Ty Dillinger now showing his aggression. The crowd chanting 10 for everything that he does. And there's a leg drop across the back of the head of McIntyre, springing his neck off that middle rope. But can Ty Dillinger take advantage of the situation? Brings McIntyre back up to his feet now, straight face first into that turnbuckle. Scott Hall stirring on the outside, so Dillinger is running out of time if he's going to go for this pin. Or McIntyre fighting back with a back elbow. And a big, that was a clothesline, wasn't it? I'm not quite sure what he hit him with then, but seemed to hit him with everything. And McIntyre is not a small man. He's 6'2", 6'3", something like that. When he comes flying off that top and crashes into you, that's a lot of weight hitting you there. And McIntyre now, oh my god, both standing on that top rope, super backdrop. And the advantage for Ty is there. I think McIntyre did a lot of damage to himself as well. McIntyre now sending Dillanger into the corner. Now into the far corner. Follows up with a went for the crossbody, and I think he sprung off the ropes. McIntyre going to go for it again. McIntyre just sending Ty Dillinger back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then went for the running clothesline. Dillinger avoids it. I think Dillinger was going for the tiebreaker there, and Scott Hall inadvertently saved Drew McIntyre. Running Death Valley driver there by Ty Dillinger into a neck breaker on Scott Hall. Now into the pin. He could have this here, Dillinger. 1, 2. No, it's only a 2 count. Dillinger dropping a boot right in the face of Scott Hall. Now lining him up. McIntyre still down on the outside. Dillinger's got a bit of time here. There's the tiebreaker. If he can go for the pin, he could have this. There's the pin. McIntyre is still down. He's stirring now. Is he going to get there in time? 2. Oh, he didn't get there in time. But Scott Hall was able to kick out. Dillinger now neck breaker on McIntyre. Boot in the gut, and now we're going to follow it up. Just slowing things down here by alert Ty Dillinger. Skull's busted. He's back up, but he's busted open. He must have got caught with that tiebreaker. As Galloway now taking Dillinger up. Buckle bomb on Dillinger. And Dillinger avoids the clothesline and rolls out the ring. But that allows McIntyre and Scott Hall alone now in the ring. McIntyre slowly walking pointlessly on the spot. And gets caught out there by Scott Hall now. Takes McIntyre up onto that top rope. We've seen a lot of high-risk, high-top rope maneuvers. We've seen a super fallaway slam. A couple now big backdrops. Scott Hall getting his own back for that one earlier on, I think, by Drew McIntyre. Scott Hall now locking in an armbar. This could be the best way forward here. Nobody seems to want to be pinned here. So maybe a submission might be the way forward. But McIntyre lucky there as Dillinger got in and broke that submission up. Now all 3 guys back up on their feet, and it's very difficult when that happens. Clothesline to the back there by McIntyre, now trying to catch Dillinger as well, and he gets him. I don't think we've seen McIntyre go for a finishing maneuver yet. Of course, the other 2 guys have. Dillinger, that high angle backdrop. Now into a pin on McIntyre. 1, 2. He's got it. He's bloody got it as well. Ty Dillinger, probably the most unlikely one in this match. Nothing against Ty Dillinger, but you look at the other 2. And they're probably a lot more experienced, a lot more likely to win this match. But it is Dillinger who picks up the victory. Wow. There we go. That was the choke slam by Scott Hall, followed up by the Razor's Edge. It wasn't enough to get the 3 count. That was McIntyre going for that running knee, completely missing. That was a tiebreaker early on the match as well. But then being caught straight away by Scott Hall, who dropped him into the electric chair. At this point in time, I thought that Scott Hall had this match won, because if he maybe hit that a little bit quicker, then maybe he would have got the 3 count there over McIntyre, almost stealing that victory away from Ty Dillinger, who had done the damage with that tiebreaker. And there it is, that high angle backdrop. And it's not the most powerful move in the world, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back here this evening. It was the move that finally finished off Galloway, or McIntyre, if you will, who'd taken a lot of offense. So there's no surprise to me that it was just a little bit too much in the end. And there we go. A rated 10 performance here by Mr. Dillanger. And of course, like I said before, when the new ranking system comes in, a triple threat match at a pay-per-view is worth a hell of a lot of points. And that could really set Dillanger up well. But of course, it's not in play until our next episode of Mayhem. But now it's time. Now it's time for our first of our big 2 main event championship matches. Tonight we've got the Throwdown Championship. Tomorrow the Mayhem Championship. Let's get straight into that match now. And here we go, it's main event time. Kazuchika Okada takes on our Throwdown champion, Zack Sabre Jr. And here we go. Here we freaking go. I've been looking forward to this match ever since it was created at the last pay-per-view. And I cannot wait to see how this one pans out. I'm having a bit of trouble though. Okada's fine, but I'm having a bit of trouble with logos not loading at the moment. I'll tell you what, the thing is, as soon as I mention that I'm going to wipe it clean and start from fresh, the game starts falling apart even more. And it seems to not be loading up certain logos, so a few of the faces this week have looked a bit odd. And you wait until you see Zack, he's missing quite a few of his logos. I'm not sure why, they're all on the game. And when I check the created wrestler, they're all on there as well. But when he comes out to the ring, all his logos missing, and I don't understand why. But there you go. That's just my life, I suppose. It's just my life. So Okada going for the championship. Of course, he won the opportunity to go for this championship when he defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi at Shabby Mania in a #1 contendership match. And now he has a chance to defeat Zack Sabre Jr., who of course defeated Kenny Omega at Shabby Mania to win this belt. So this is Zack's first championship defense. And I will get a new Zack downloaded when we start Evolution. Yeah, look, everything's missing. Even his face looks a bit weird, but the flag's missing off his jacket, the flag's missing off his trunks, but it's fine. Doesn't look too bad, does it? His face looks a bit weird as well. I think there must have been a picture over his face or something like that. I know that's quite a common thing, isn't it? But yeah, well, once, like I say, I'm going to have a chance now to delete the game because I'm so far ahead of myself. That's what I tried to do. Get so far ahead so I can delete the game, re-download it. I know it's going to mess around with the momentums on quite a few people, but I think we're having so many bugs at the moment. I'd rather have momentum not be 100% correct and have a smoother game. Because we're getting a lot more bugs. It seems to be every episode I record there's a few more bugs than last time. But I think that may fix the issues. I've had the look on certain forums and so forth, and they have said that that's one thing you can do that does fix the issue a bit. And that's of course what it's for, the Throwdown Championship. Introducing your challenger from Osaka, Japan. Is he from Osaka? I think he is. Kazuchika Okada. Where's he from? He's from Tokyo. From Tokyo, Japan. And where's Zack Sabre Jr. billed from then? Okada was trained by Ultimo Dragon. I've got a signed Ultimo Dragon figure on my shelf over there. Zack Sabre. I always spell Zack wrong. I spell Zack with a H for some reason. He is billed from... He's not billed from anywhere, to be honest with you. His real name's Lucas. Lucas Eatwell. That is ironic because my name's Luke and I do eat well. I'm going to tell that to PJ too, that's quite funny. Yeah, he's not actually... I can't see where he's actually billed from. He's actually from the Isle of Sheppey in Kent. But he actually lives in... I didn't realise Zack Sabre Jr. lives in New York now. He doesn't even live in the UK. Ooh. When did that happen then? He's working in Mexico now. Lucha Memes. Really? There's actually a place called Lucha Memes? That's weird. New Japan, WWE, PWG, Progress, WXW, Triple X, Pro Wrestling Noah, British National Championships, IPW. Yeah. I did not realise that he lived in New York now. That explains why he's not booked for many UK shows, but he's booked for every single American show. I suppose that's what you need to do, don't you? To get the extra money, you need to do that, because American shows are running so much more often than UK shows that you can be booked nearly every single night, can't you? And that's probably what they're doing. But there you go. enough about where Zack Sabre Jr. lives. Let's see if Zack Sabre Jr. can successfully retain his Throwdown Championship. Like I said, the first defense he's had, locking in that great submission. But Okada able to roll through and a boot to the back of the head of Zack, as Zack was trying to get back up to his feet as well. Boot into the back as well now. Okada bringing Zack back up, but Zack with the jawbreaker. Going to go for now neckbreaker by Zack Sabre Jr. Zack's a very technical wrestler. Everything he does for a reason, and that reason is to increase the amount of damage you can do later on by the looks of it. Does damage to your arm, does damage to your leg, can lock in an armbar or a knee bar later on. As Okada though with a Rainmaker, not Rainmaker, an air raid crash. I know what I was trying to say, but my voice decided to say something else. One, only a two. Okada boot to the back. And if he has a Rainmaker clothesline in his arsenal ready for Zack Sabre Jr., we could see brand new champion. Went for the springboard senton, but Zack Sabre Jr. able to roll out of the way. But he doesn't do anything about it. He just stood there waiting. And Okada got straight back up and managed to get him. Okada went for that drop kick. We know how good Okada's drop kicks are. As Zack now doing more damage to that arm. And if he can lock in that cross armbar, one of his finishing maneuvers, we could see a successful championship retainment here. There's the pin. 1, 2. As Okada stares scarily at the ceiling. Zack went for the kick to the back, but Okada dodges it now into a backdrop. Wow, this is what time it is. I've still got loads of recording to do. I'm still unsure about this. I prefer this arena now than what I did when it was in the editor, I must admit. But that's been the problem. There's just oh, great German suplex. There's not a lot of different things you can choose from on the Create an Arena screen, so it's a little bit tricky. As Zack now again just wrenching these arms back, and Zack's really doing damage to these arms. And like I say, if he has got that that cross armbar in his arsenal, he could do that. But he rolls Okada into the pin. Oh, it's actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Zack now up on the middle rope, celebrating already. Maybe celebrating a little bit premature though. Okada avoids the kick of Zack. Now catches him into the neck. No, Zack reversed it into a neck breaker of his own. And now here he goes. Looking for that submission. And he locks it in. Is Okada going to tap? Zack's done a lot of damage to the arm of it. He has! Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Zack did a lot of damage to the arm of Okada, but I still was I'm not expecting Okada to give up that quick and that easily. And Zack Sabre Jr. retains the Throwdown Championship, his first championship defense. And it was against possibly one of the hardest men on the roster. I don't think there's many better than Okada on our roster. And Zack has proved us all that he is the top man on Throwdown. And like I've said, the champions will be somewhat immune from the evolution. And we know that Zack is going to be pretty excited to defend that championship once again. I think it's I'm really glad. You know, I was going to be happy no matter who won this match, but at the same time I feel even happier now that Zack's won it, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But there we go, guys. That is the end of night number 4 of our SWE Evolution pay-per-view. The Evolution is coming ever sooner, but we have one more night of top-class action for you, and that will be in a couple of days' time. The main event of that one, of course, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar for the Mayhem Championship. Also, championship-wise, we've got the Broken Hardys versus American Alpha, and we will have Alexa Bliss defending the Throwdown Women's Championship against Becky Lynch, so be sure to keep an eye out for that one. Of course, if you have enjoyed this one, press the like button, and of course, subscribe for a lot more as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon for SWE Evolution 4.